Did you really defeat the Daedra Balrith blindfolded?
No. I don't think so. I think I would have remembered that. Okay, so there's something over here we gotta do.
Progress is slow, but steady.
Oh, you want me to talk to him?
Hello, friend. Do you need directions to the inn?
I have actually come a long way to find a member of the Stenrick family.
Well, your journey has been successful. Stenrick blood certainly runs through my veins.
I found the sword in a crypt near Sanguine Barrows.
Marcel Stenrick? That was my great-grandmother's name. Is that really her sword? I grew up listening to stories of Dame Marcel's exploits. She was quite the warrior, if you believe the tales.
I think she wants you to have her sword.
This is amazing. Our family used to be much more prominent back in my great-grandmother's day. Maybe her sword will turn our fortunes around. Maybe. Anyway, thank you so much for bringing this to me.
You're welcome.
I'll always treasure Dame Marcel's sword. Perhaps it will encourage me to take up a life of honor and adventure.
Can you tell me anything about the dame?
Just what my parents told me. I never met my great-grandmother. Dame Marcel was an honored knight in the service of House Dorel. I remember one story set during the time of the great feud between the Tamriths and the Dorels.
What happened?
In the story, Dorel's son Lanciot was kidnapped on the road to North Point by a dozen of Tamrith's most ruthless warriors. Despite the odds, Dame Marcel never hesitated. She swooped in with this very sword and rescued Lanciot. I love that story.
Read about that story. Alright. We got that one. Supposedly, I think I gotta go to the Mages Guild.
This work isn't going to do itself.
Where am I? Alright, turn around. And run back around.
Selling, buying, trading, right here.
I've taken many years, but I finally devised an enchantment that will extend my life. The ritual of longevity requires colored crystals for each of nature's life-giving elements. A blue-colored crystal for water, a green-colored crystal for vitality, and a bright orange crystal for light. I must place the crystals in a triangular array and then speak the incantation. I found a remote cave in the mountains east of Shornhelm where I plan to try it out. I plan to head out to the cave tomorrow morning and enact the ritual. Just in case there are any problems, I have acquired a means of reversing the enchantment. It will simply require sparkling a little elemental dust on each crystal and then destroying it. Just to be safe, I'm going to leave the dust at home. I can always come back and get it if it's needed. Hopefully that won't be the case. Well, aren't you a bit of an idiot? Alright. I wonder who started his fire for him. Because it sounds like he's been a tree for some time. So someone's come here, tend to his fire. That Covenant guard saw nothing. Well, we're gonna pop back into here. Apparently there's a book that I have not read. All the way back here. Up top. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I've gone through all of these. Let's see, what does it say when I look at it? Circus of Cheerful Slaughter.
Welcome back to the hall. How goes the search?
Like it's saying it's right here, but I don't see it. And I'm going to continue on.
Another chance at perfection.
So if I release the Spriggan, is she gonna kill the guy for being stuck? I mean, I can't blame her. Garden gulp. Bit of a bummer that garden gulp doesn't have any good loot. Alright.
You've returned. I did not expect this. Dare I hope, though? Do you know the means by which I might be released?
Yes, the note said that this elemental dust would reverse the spell.
Then delay no longer. Any thirst I once felt for life has long since faded. All I seek now is the peace of death. Though I want to despise the mage for what he did, I feel more pity than hate. I hope this gives him release as well. Peace at last.
Alright, let's go see if the jerk is back to being human. Oh, he died.
I remember now. I remember it all. Oh, gods! What a cursed thing did I do? The spell! It trapped me in the tree's form. It was a nightmare. Such was the price of my lust for longevity. But now I am released.
Yes, you and the tree can both be at peace now.
Being trapped in the tree was a fate worse than any death I can imagine. Though I once did all I could to extend my life, I am now grateful to be granted the peace of death. If you were the one responsible for releasing me, then I thank you.
We get the eternal tree splitter. Alright, well that was fun. Relatively easy quest, but I had to go on a search mission.
Someday you'll make something surprising with that.
Back this way.
We can't take a portal.
It's not that far away, Xanderwander. Except for I got distracted by this, as I tend to be. What's over here?
It's nice out here. No more crawling around crypts, no more undead, no more really heavy armor, no more preaching about Arche. Nope, no more. I'm done.
Are you Edward, a servant of Arche?
That Edweg is gone. I am no longer in the service of Arche. Maybe I'll be Edweg the Traveler, or maybe Edweg safe at home. I bet you were sent to find me. Or at least the relic I was supposed to retrieve. St. Marben's fingerbone.
Do you have the relic?
Near as I could find out, it's buried up at the top of these barrows. But when I saw the trolls and felt the cold of the barrows on my skin, I said no more. I've resigned. You can get the relic and pass along my resignation to Alvarin.
Alright. Oh. We're back to this again. Yes, might as well.
choices.
Where is that failed sword saint now? Brooding in some sandy cave on the edges of oblivion. The Daedra The anchors, you destroy them in vain.
Quality material makes for quality goods.
Alright, where do I want to go?
Yeah.
Going.
More funding for our research.
He's got no problem with thievery. Whatever gets the research. Right.
Too old, What's this? Another stranger strutting into my town? Perfect. They'll probably give you the mayor's job. Experience? Phew, you don't need that. Just ask the new constable.
You seem frustrated.
Me? No. Why would I be frustrated? 10 years as town constable, and the mayor just up and decides to fire me the other day. Can you imagine? Says I'm getting too old, and the new constable will do a better job. The dung-heap bastard.
Who's the new constable?
That's the thing, no one even knows him. Govindian, that's his name. He and his bailiff sauntered into town last week, and now he's constable? Something smells wrong. Say, think you could poke around and try to find out what's really going on?
Sure, I'll talk to people and see what I can learn.
Sad times when I have to rely on a stranger. But I do appreciate you asking around. The mayor, the jeweler, the miller, they're all acting strangely. There's something they're not saying. I'll be back at the inn if you learn anything.
In what ways are people acting strangely?
You have to understand, I've known these people for years. Shared drinks with them, gone fishing. I thought we were friends. Then all of a sudden, the mayor fires me. And now no one even has 2 words to spare. To me, that's strange.
You sure this has nothing to do with your drinking? What? She's an orc. It has nothing to do with their drinking. There's a house here.
There is no choice in the matter. The constable says we need your wagon and your horse.
But what will I do? If I can't haul grain, I can't make any coin. My family will starve.
Have you forgotten? You do want us to keep your family safe, do you not? I suggest you close your mouth.
What in oblivion do you want? Unless you can haul it yourself, don't tell me you have a load of grain that needs to be ground at the mill. The constable's deputy just confiscated my damn wagon.
Is there a problem with the new constable?
Look, I don't know you, and I don't need you meddling in my personal affairs. I'm not looking for trouble, and I'm not saying a single damn word about the new constable. You'll mind your own business if you know what's good for you.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I thought I saw a log over here. No? No. Want to take a look inside the house? I'm sure it looks like 100 of the other ones, but let's take a look. Yeah. I do not like it when the floors are open like that. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter, but not my favorite.
Keep your eyes open for a good tea shop. Always happy to try a new blend.
This is nice.
We can use this.
Nice and bright and colorful-ish.
Welcome to Fell's Run. Normally, we'd welcome you with open arms and throw a feast, but not this year. We had a terrible harvest, and times are hard. Might be better if you moved on and spent the night in North Point. Come back next year.
So why'd you fire Constable Agazu?
She caught you out at the edge of town, eh? She feels betrayed, I know. I hope someday she understands. The last thing I wanted to do was hurt her. My wife and I both have always treasured her friendship.
What does your wife think about your decision?
My wife? Oh, she doesn't exactly know. Well, she's been sick. Yes, she's sick. Hasn't left the house for days. Poor thing. Yes, I should actually get in there and check on her. No time for idle gossip. Take care now.
You are so full of shit.
I've little time for talk.
The story of Princess Isolde? This is a bit of a propaganda that was produced for the House Tamrith and distributed while Countess Isolde was in the south, studying with the Order of Archay. Upon a time in the realm of Kalkat, there was a mighty king named Rolthrub, who ruled nobly and long.
Ah, very nice. Good to settle my old bones for a bit.
After many years, King Rolthrob felt himself getting old and started to think about what would happen to his realm after he was gone. Now, this king was blessed with 2 sons, which normally would be a happy thing for an aging monarch, but in his case, it was a problem. For the younger son, who had been born of his queen, Prince Pigeon, was weak-willed and indifferent. In contrast, the elder son, Prince Lancer, was bold and self-assured, and though his mother was of House Rithmat, the noblest of Cutcap, still Prince Lancer had undeniably been born out of wedlock. Now King Rolthrob was a wise king, and did not try to conceal that he favored his elder son, Prince Lancer, as he was clearly the prince most fit to rule. But nonetheless, when the old king finally went to Aetherius, some people felt that the milksop Prince Pigeon should take the throne. I don't know whether these people were merely misguided or had some other reason why they thought the rulership of Cutcap should be undermined. Fortunately, wiser heads prevailed, and Prince Lancer was elected king of Cutcap by the Council of Nobles. Shortly after Lancer's accession to the throne, he met Shortly after Lancer's accession to the throne, he met a lady named Lady Vesper at the ball and fell in love. The lovely and clever Vesper was a daughter of House Rithmat, and after a brief courtship, King Lancer told his council of nobles that she would be his queen. However, Count Pigeon, the former prince, objected that this would not be proper, as King Lancer's mother had been a Rithmat, and by the law of consanguinity, the Lady Vesper was too close a relation for marriage. On this, the rest of the council agreed, and King Lancer was persuaded to set the young lady aside. Upon hearing this news, Lady Vesper disappeared, said to have been carried off into the forest by a courtier of Nixids, and though the king sent out search parties, his lost love was never found. In due course, the council recommended, for the sake of dynasty, that King Lancer marry the young and healthy Lady Ignort of House Dull. And thus heartbroken, he agreed to. Lancer and Ignort were married, and King Lancer settled down to do his kingly business by his new queen. Within a few months, it was announced that Queen Ignort had borne King Lancer a child. A naming day festival was declared for the infant princess, and everyone important in the realm was invited. And on the day of the celebration, all the goodly and great of Cutcap came and laid presents at the foot of the cradle of Princess Ariel, for thus she had been named. But at the end of the line came someone no one recognized, a dire, weird hag, hooded and cloaked, and bearing a darksome flower. Now no weird hags had been seen in Cutcap since the year of Sun's death, but all feared her, and none dared bar her passage. The weird hag advanced to the princess's cradle, and when she came to its foot, she threw back her hood and cried, "Behold, King Lancer, it is I, Lady Vespire, now a weirwess of the weird." The gaily clad crowd fell back in horror, for the formerly pretty Lady Vesper now sported a large nose, disfigured by unsightly warts. "By some oversight, you failed to invite me to your daughter's naming day, but I have come none the less. And look, I have brought the infant princess a present." "What present is this?" said King Lancer, all a-tremble. "A darksome flower? I like not its look." "That's no surprise, your majesty," said the weird hag mockingly, "for this is a forsaken rose, a blossom no one wants. I know what that is like, King Lancer, and so, by my curse, shall your daughter." The horrible hag then dropped the misshapen bloom upon the baby, and disappeared in a flash of fire and a cloud of evil-smelling smoke. And so it came to pass. Princess Ariel grew up beautiful as a rose, but cross-grained and petulant. But she was none the less a princess of the north, so when King Emtic of the south came looking for a bride, their troth was quickly plighted. But Count Pigeon had long made a habit of visiting the south, and was a boon companion of King Emtic, and he pointed out to the king of the south that Ariel was cross-grained and petulant, and he might make a stronger match by marrying the Princess of Watchtower. In time, Emtic agreed. He broke his match with Ariel and promised himself to the Princess of Watchtower. King Lancer, however, did not take this lightly, and swore he would go to the war upon the oath-breaking with the king of the south. And he made lawful war upon King Emtic, but the Battle of the Tor, Lancer was betrayed by one of his own generals. King Lancer was slain in his crown, and Princess Ariel both disappeared. Ever since, the throne of Cutcap has stood empty. But some say that when King Lancer was born, A twin sister likewise saw the light of the world and was spirited away by a weird hag to be raised in the forest. And this child, the daughter of both Rothrob and Rithmat herself, bore a daughter, who was brought back to her maternal family. And this daughter was named Countess Azelde. And if the truth were told, all who would know that her real title should be Princess Azelde, and she and no other is the rightful heir to the throne of Cutcap. However, that is a tale for her people to tell.
I think perhaps it's best if you go ahead and close up the shop early today, Lady Mondori. In fact, why don't you go ahead and do that now?
Yes, Constable Gavendir. I'll close up right away. Just don't do anything rash. Oh, hello there. You must be new in town. I'm sorry, but the jewelry shop is closed for today. Constable Gavendir's orders.
Why did the constable order you to close the shop?
I think he's worried about security. Yes, with the rumors of bandits robbing people on the road, we have to be careful. There's supposed to be a big parcel of amethysts coming in from the mine, too. Gods, I hope it gets here safely.
Have you noticed anything strange around town?
Strange? No, nothing. Nothing at all. Why would you ask? Oh, well, there's Gaspar. He's a little soft in the head. He's run out of town and refuses to come back. I worry about him. He really should go back home.
Okay. Stones that sparkle, a jewelry name. Oh, all right. We're closed up.
Nice to see someone who's not walking around looking like their pig just died. Let me know if there's anything you need.
Good find, cohort.
No, I'm not coming. No, I'm not. Don't even ask. I'll come back, but only when Gaylord says it's safe. Yes, that's right. Only when Gaylord says. Gaylord told me to stay right here until then.
Who is Gaylord, and why did he tell you to stay here?
Gaylord is my friend. He looks after me since my parents died. Gaylord said it isn't safe in town. No. That constable. Gaylord recognized him from Daggerfall. Said he was a bad man. Gaylord went to meet the constable, but never came back.
Where did he go to meet the constable?
Gaylord went to meet the constable in the constable's new house. Just there, to the south. Used to be the fisherman's house, but the constable took it. The fisherman just went away. I hope Gaylord didn't go away too.
Interesting.
Fortuitous!
Oh no. Leonce, this was a brilliant stroke getting yourself appointed constable with me as your bailiff. That will give the boys back at camp quite a laugh. I'm keeping my room at the inn, but Bolzog is guarding the hostages at the place you suggested. No one will find them there. I can't believe how well this plan is coming together. Wait, where? I hate that so much.
Oh, my head is pounding. 3 loaves of bread and I'm still foggy. I don't care what happens. Remind me to never drink that rum posset again. You were asking around town, though, about that toothless run of a constable. Did you learn anything?
I found this note.
Hostages? I knew those bastards were up to something. Damn. Constable Gavendian just left here with Lady Mondori. Bailiff Sagabar's still upstairs, though. We should try to get into his room and see what else we can find.
How do we get into the bailiff's room?
Well, I bought this sleeping draft so I could sleep off this headache, but I guess I won't be napping now. Take it upstairs and find a way to distract Sagabar. Slip it into his drink. Then follow him into his room before he passes out.
All right, I can do that. Much bigger down here than I was gonna be. What a TARDIS.
Thought-provoking.
We read it already, Xander Wander.
Look, I have just about Oh, sorry. I thought you were that lecherous bailiff again. He tries to grope me every time I bring him a drink.
You don't appreciate the bailiff's advances?
Gall and pox, of course not. I'm a barmaid, not a strumpet. Besides, I know his type. He may talk sweet, but get him behind closed doors and he turns mean. I try to avoid his kind.
Any idea on how to distract him?
What, from looking at my bottom? If I knew how to make him stop, I would have done it hours ago. No, I just want him to leave me alone.
Okie
What do you say? You interested in having a bit of a laugh?
Depends on what you're proposing.
I developed this little trinket to summon a Banekin. I thought it would impress the Archmage, but instead it got me kicked out of the Mage's College. I was thinking of...
So maybe I could use this trinket to spook the bailiff.
Here. I was thinking the barmaid. But if you're crazy enough to try it on the bailiff, all the better. Depending on how it works, maybe I'll go into business selling these things. Let's see how it works.
Oh, sweet Tuwaka, save me. It's a Banekin. Suddenly, I don't feel so well.
Sagabar, I have the miller's horse and the cart ready to go as soon as we have what we came for. As long as no one tries to be a hero, we should be in the clear. Tell Bolzog to keep the hostages at the old mill south of town. If he doesn't hear from us by midnight, he can start slitting their throats. Since the miller's given us so much trouble, Bolzog can kill his daughter either way. But when we send word that we're clear of town, he should release the mayor's wife and the jeweler's son, and then meet us back at the camp. Can I just slit his throat now? Him?
Gold. Some people believe we're too obsessed with it, that it controls everything. But I think that's actually a good thing. How else do we create a standard for the value of social and cultural exchange? Gold is the best way. It really is.
Got serious there, Mr. Trickster. I thought he was going to make a comment about how well his little token worked.
Now that my skull stopped pounding, I'm ready to crack someone else's. Did you find anything in that Red Guard's room?
Yes.
Do we know where they're holding the hostages?
Yes, they're holding them at the old mill south of town.
All right. We've got to go get them. That's the most important thing. Did you find anything to explain why Gavendian went to all this trouble? He didn't do it so he could just steal my job, did he?
It's not exactly clear yet, but they're planning to make their escape at some point.
Then maybe I should stay here and rouse the bailiff. My head's clear, but my legs are still wobbly. You go to the old mill and free the hostages, while I drag Sagabar to the stocks. He'll tell me what they're planning, one way or another.
All right, I'll go free the hostages. Why is it that we're always doing the majority of the work, huh?
Praise the Eight. Did you kick that stupid thug's teeth in? I don't know what was worse, being held hostage or smelling that ruffian's breath. What about the robbery, though? Did you stop them, or did they get away with the jewels?
What jewels?
You didn't know? That's why they were holding us. Gavendian was waiting for Loraviv Mondori's big amethyst parcel to come in. He was holding the three of us hostage to keep the town in line.
When were the amethysts scheduled to arrive?
Hours ago. That thug Bolzog was actually going to execute us if he didn't hear from that crooked constable soon. You really came just in time. We should hurry into town and see if we can't stop Gavendian.
All right, let's go.
Damn bastard Gavendian. Did it all for the jewels. And got away with it, too. Yeah, he got me good. I'll survive, but he cut Loraviv's throat. He didn't have to. He just did it to prove a point. I thought I could be cruel, but he is a monster.
Is anyone else hurt?
I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe if I hadn't confronted him, he wouldn't have killed her. At least the hostages are all right. You did your part, and you did it well. We can't let that maggot-eating bastard Gavendian get away with this. Old Sagabar wasn't so tough after he got into the stocks. He told me where Gavendian went, where their camp is.
Do you want me to go after him?
What I want to do is go after Gavendian myself. But that's not going to happen anytime soon, and I don't want him to slip away. If you're willing, then yes. Do whatever it takes. Just put him down. Oh, and retrieve the jewels, too.
All right, I'll kill him and get the jewels. Poor lady. Is that her son right there, too?
Why? Why would they kill her? She was cooperating. She gave them the jewels.
Sorry, Butterfly. I was actually going for the ebony ore, but for whatever reason, you got in between.
We can use this. Quite a memorable locale. Delightful.
No one thought about the old fort that was like right next door to where they were? What?
An unanticipated windfall.
Oh, that one was like, I'm too busy eating this.
Relax.
Too much to do and too little time.
Extraordinary. Astounding. Congratulations.
There's always a hero in every town. They always come after me, and they always die.
Is that so? I don't think it's gonna be the same here. Your scheme to rob Fel's Run is brilliant. After using the old abandoned fort demonstrates the level of planning that this has made you an infamous throughout the region. I will gladly purchase the gems from you. Meet me in the North Point when you have them. The NPC behind me said I don't have to explain something I've never said.
Planning to improve your equipment while you're here?
I really wish that they would subtitle those conversations because they are really quite interesting. But they happen so far away and so quickly that it's really hard to hear them, plus all the other noise that just happens in a game.
Sagabar and I were just making bets on whether you'd return. Looks like Sagabar's a two-time loser. Did you do it then? Did you kill Gavendian?
Yep, killed him, brought the jewels back.
Thank you. I suppose it will do little to console young Reuben, but at least we can give Lady Mondori a proper funeral. I got my job back. The mayor's even increased my wages. You have my gratitude. By Moloch, you have the whole town's gratitude.
You were the one who slipped that draft into my mug, were you not? I cannot believe I fell for that. This isn't right, you know. It was the oppressiveness of Redguard society that drove me to become a bandit. Yeah, I blame society.
Yeah, you do that.
Another chance at perfection.
Back this way. Legit do not know. It must be quest related.
You there! Please! You must help!
Why is that?
Traveler, please. Have you heard tidings of the Edrald family? I've just come from their manor, and they're gone. Just gone!
Tell me what's wrong.
I've just arrived from Wayrest. Preparations are underway for my Arlie and I to be married. When I returned, the estates were deserted. Her family, the servant, gone. I don't know what could have happened to them.
Any idea where they might have gone?
No, I don't. Arlie's parents have owned this estate since before I was born. We were to be wed here, but a month from now. I know that Rivenspire has bigger problems right now, but this is my future. Will you help me look for them?
Sure, we can search together.
Thank you. I'm fairly competent with a dueling blade, but I'm out of my element here. Let's start in the manor house. There has to be some clue there.
What else can you tell me about the situation?
Not much to say, really. I was in Wayrest, sealing writs and appropriating documents in preparation for the wedding. To come back only to find my beloved missing. It's most disheartening.
Your beloved, that would be Arlie.
The Lady Arlie Edrald, of the Westmark Edralds. A storied family of some means. Arlie's granddam was a powerful mage, you see. Her adventures took her all over Tamriel. We were betrothed when we were children, and this has been my home ever since.
Okay. Something bad happened.
Quiet as the grave. Wherever they are, they're not here. That trapdoor led down to an undercroft beneath the manor, but Arlie's mother sealed it up long ago.
And I guess up we go. Cassandra Errold's journal. As the eve of Fedric's return approaches, Arlie continues to withdraw to herself. Power Dolki has over her is overwhelming, and even my motherly intentions lose their effectiveness before her constant presence. Alan has confronted Dolkai at last, though I fear it is to no avail. The brood has had time to prepare her arguments, and from the look on my husband's face, they are quite formidable. He should not have allowed himself to become so attached to the lass. I knew the moment we took her in that no good would come of it. Despite the difficulties in acquiring the necessary materials, everything has been laid out and prepared. Alan is as nervous as I am about what might come. Somehow Dolkai has managed to quail even his brave heart. No matter, I am certain justice will prevail in the end.
Dolki was causing her worry. The servant? My word! We should search her quarters. Perhaps something there will hint at what happened. Arlie's room. dear sweet Arlie. If anything's happened to her, I don't know what I'll do.
A light on the moor. Walking one night along the rain-sodden roads that mark passage through Gnumbra moors, a pilgrim spied a lantern in the mist. "My word," he said, as he stopped to stare, pushing up his funny white hat to get a better view. "Some poor traveler has lost his way." "Oh, there," he cried, "the road is here." Hearing no response, but not being one to leave a fellow Mer to the mercy of the marsh, the pilgrim strayed from his own path and waded into the putrid waters between him and the light. Boots sloshing through the blackened muck, he could hardly make a gleam out through the mist ahead of him. Undeterred, he pressed forward, with hardly a thought for his own mortality. "Surely they can hear me now," he thought, then cried out once more, "Oh, good friend, the road lies this way." Again, hearing no response, he took a moment to look around. Mist was all he found there in the dark. He could see neither his horse nor his burrow, where he had staked out. Shivering there in his own lamplight, hopelessly lost, he wondered whether he would ever return to the road. Deciding 2 lost souls would fare better than 1, and up to his chest in peat and putrid water, he pressed on toward the light. One by one he lost his boots to the marsh, buried deep in the sucking pits that marked his passage. Bootless he continued until he could go no further. It was then, coming upon a copse of trees, that he came upon a small glass lantern hanging from a tree branch. Searching for any sign of its owners, he spied a wide-brimmed bonnet where it lay abandoned on the ground. As he stood there wondering, the bright yellow flame of the tiny lantern flickered, then guttered out. He looked to his own lantern bobbing happily in the water above his shoulders, and took another step, only to find he couldn't. Indeed, he could barely shift his waist, so thick was the muck he was mired in. Looking skyward, he reached for the grasping wooden fingers of the trees above, only to find them beyond his grasp. As he stood there in the dark until the murky water swallowed his throat, his mouth, and his funny little white cap, his final breath bubbled up through the muck, and that was the last of the pilgrim. Walking one night along the rain-sodden roads that marked passage to the Gnumbra moors, a merchant spied a lantern in the mist. My, he said, and he stopped to stare, pushing up his broad visor to get a better view. "Some poor fellow's lost his way."
There! Stendhal's mercy. Better have left some clue.
Good find, cohort.
This might be it. This seems to be Dolki's diary. She was concerned. She writes about Arlie's sad smiles. Missing me, no doubt. She brought Arlie flowers. And then they went to the windmill. Oh dear.
What's wrong?
Well, it's just that the windmill is our spot. Me and Arlie's. It's where we went to, you know, rendezvous. So why would she take Dolki there? It doesn't make any sense.
What else does it say?
Not much. Not about that, anyway. Wait. They saw the Baroness hide something away at the windmill. It doesn't say what. Traveler, the Baroness never goes out there. Why would she hide something?
Anything else?
Nothing. Nothing. But I'm shaking like a leaf. Here, take it away from me. Let's go. Let's check out the windmill. When we were children, Arlie and I came here to get away from the world. What I wouldn't give to have her with us now.
Chrysanda's Herald's Journal, Volume 1. My daughter has become quite maudlin since Frederick left for Wayrest. I have assured her that all will be right when he returns, but she remains quite dour. I have taken the liberty of sending Fell's Run for a cask of tawny port, such as hard to come by with the growing trouble in the region, and spirits from the arbors of Somerset are always a welcome reprieve from our local distillations. Surely their bright and sunny notes will bring her aught but cheer. Arlie came to me this evening in tears. It would seem Dolkai, simpleton that she is, has managed to cause her no end of distress. While I can understand how it might be difficult for her to fathom that she does harm with her intentions, that is no excuse. If only Frederick were here. His constant company has always comforted our dearest daughter. What I wouldn't give for him to return on the morrow. No matter how strongly I word my arguments, Alan seems unconcerned. He's rather attached to that servant girl. Doesn't he see what's at stake here? If Dolkai is allowed to interfere with our daughter's wedding, it will ruin us all. Such self-indulgence is abominable. I'll not allow her to continue this harassment.
Arlie told her mother. Then it's true. It's all true. That's the key to the Undercroft. That must have been what the Baroness hid here. Why? We should investigate.
Someday you'll make something surprising with that.
The Undercroft. Steel yourself. We don't know what's down there.
Let it sit with you. Novel erudition always makes me heady.
Cassandra's Journal, Volume 2. Alan continues to believe this association between our daughter and Dolkai is but a passing fancy, that we should allow it to play out. He hasn't had to look into her eyes and see the terrible divide that it has created within her. She is torn with herself, and I will not watch her rent asunder while we stand helplessly by. If he will not do anything about it, I shall take matters into my own hands. I went to talk with the constable today only to find her in her cups. It would seem our estate is not alone in its troubles. There has been a power shift in Fell's Run. Her replacement was not helpful, nor was he forthcoming as to why. It would seem the town will no longer bother itself with our affairs, nor ensure our protection. The nerve of the man. When this business with Dolkai is settled, I'll have strong words for his superiors in Shornhelm. I opened the Undercroft for the first time in ages. When we locked it up after Alan's mother died, I had hoped we would never open it again, but it is my only hope now. I found it. A ragged old book detailing what is necessary to contact Maroons Dagon, Daedric Prince of Change. If it can alter our fate, it will be him. The ritual seems simple enough, though I know dabbling with even the simplest of conjurations can prove dangerous. Still, what choice do I have? I've dispatched a courier to Shornhelm for the necessary components. We will have to be discreet about it, but I trust Allison to be discreet.
Arlie's mother did this? She summoned a Daedric Prince to... But why? Stendar's mercy! What is that? Are you seeing this?
Remember, the most important thing is to pay homage to the flames of the Deadlands first. As discussed in Liminal Bridges, the transpotent blah blah blah, fortunately, take heed, read well. The loving Darren is onto something. Gosh, it's quite boring.
Nothing.
Oh, I'm actually gonna have to read one sec. Hold on. Okay, first, elemental flame. Something flame. Okay. Flame.
What did you just do? It's getting hot over here.
Yeah! Of course.
The air.
Yep.
It's starting to fill with dust. I did it! Holy!
Thank the 8. When we found the portal closed, I feared the worst.
Are you alright?
A little tired, but unhurt. Dolki and I managed to overpower our captors. Mother and Father, they're still trapped. I'm afraid to ask, but would you be willing to look for them?
Of course.
Federic brought you, didn't he? I knew he'd not forget me, but I worried. Dolki, will you go with our new friend? I need a moment with Federic.
Federic insisted I home.
Oh, I knew he wouldn't abandon me. Thank you for coming. If we get through this, we will be in your debt.
How did you get here?
During the night, there was a crash, and then these terrible creatures crawled up out of the basement. Father, he tried to fight them off, but they overwhelmed him. They caught us and dragged us here, to this awful place.
Did you see where they took your parents?
No, but there are ruins everywhere. Maybe near one of those? I'm sorry, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let's get moving. Arlie, be safe.
Oh, that's Dolkai.
I don't know how much help I'll be, but lead the way.
What happened between you and Arlie?
Look, it was nothing. We grew up together. With Federic so near, she could never see me for anything other than a playmate. When he left, I thought I had a chance.
A chance?
To tell her how I felt. Ever since we were children, I always thought she was special. In my 10th year, I made her a cloak. A bearskin from a hunt her father took me on. Seeing it around her shoulders, it was wonderful.
Did she feel the same way?
I don't know. I asked her once, but it made her sad, so I stopped asking. With Federic gone to Wayrest, we had more time together than ever. I think, in time, I might have stood a chance.
You don't think you still do?
Maybe. But her mother would never have it. She did all this. She made a pact with Daedra just to stop me from getting close to Arlie. I know she didn't mean for all this to happen, but...
Oh, so you got between Arlie and her boyfriend.
Don't tell Arlie this, but her mother's responsible for bringing us here. She will not be happy to see us.
Okay, I am apparently very blind to seeing these guys.
Hey, over here, help, please! Daedra everywhere. Took my wife, my daughter.
Your daughter is safe. I'll find your wife. Go get to the portal.
I don't know who you are, stranger, but thank you. Be careful. These Daedra, they're animals.
Nope. Get out of the fire.
lava goes on as far as I can see. How can anything live in this place?
You are interrupting scholarship!
Please, I don't want to die. Oh, thank Julianos. I should have never gone into the Undercroft. I should have never taken that key.
Why did you?
Ask Dolki. None of this would have happened if she... But it doesn't matter now. I just want Arlie to be happy again. Is that so wrong?
Get to safety. Your family's waiting.
One last thing. The Daedric Lord here, Valark, has a relic called a Sigil Stone. It's attuned to our manor in Rivenspire. If it isn't destroyed, she could come through at any time. Please, promise me you'll destroy it.
I promise.
Thank you. Julianos guide you in your quest.
Make better choices!
There it is. That's the Sigil Stone.
Another mortal come to play? Well now, I've broken a sweat. I've not had this much.
Excellent.
Funny.
But we can
She's
always
not as
do
scary
better.
now. Arlie!
My friend, you are truly a hero worthy of song. I can't begin to express the depth of my thanks. You've done so much for me already. Might I ask your advice?
Advice about what?
My future. As we've walked together, I've come to see how small my life really is. If you hadn't come along, my dearest Arlie and her family would be dead. And perhaps myself as well. I feel... perhaps I should strike out on my own. Become like you?
It's never too late to learn how to defend yourself and those you love.
Sage advice. So be it. Once the estate has returned to order, I will return to Wayrest and enlist in the Guard. I will miss my Arlie dearly, but at least when I return, it will be as her capable defender. I am sure she'll wait for me.
And everything goes back to the way it was? I don't know how I feel about that.
What do you mean?
Federic's back, and Arlie, she really does care for him. Seeing the look on her face as he stepped through that portal. Look, I'm just a servant. If me being around causes problems for her, maybe I shouldn't stay.
Get out there, see the world, and make a name for yourself.
I will, and if I return, it will be as an orc who has struck her name into the face of the world. Thank you, my friend, for inspiring me. Before you go, Arlie wants to speak with you. She's waiting just outside.
I know you were only thinking of me, Mother, but I sometimes wonder about your temper. Oh, our savior, thank you again for everything you've done.
You wish to speak with me?
Only to say that without you, none of this would have been possible. My father, my mother, Dolki, maybe even Federic, we would all be dead right now. If you ever have need of a home, please, you will be welcome here.
So hopefully he'll go learn how to be a better knight. And she will...
Dulgi? What's wrong?
We're... Frederick and I...
We're leaving, Arlie.
Leaving? But where will you go?
To Daggerfall.
Seek our fortunes.
But Frederick, you've only just arrived. And Dulgi...
It must be done, Arlie. This isn't the place for us. Not for now, anyway.
It's time we made our own way in the world.
But you're just children.
No, Baroness, we aren't. And it's time we acted it.
But that doesn't mean we won't miss you. We'll write.
We will, at that.
Then, if there's no changing your minds, I suppose this is goodbye.
Goodbye, Arlie. Baroness.
We'll see you again someday.
Be careful out there.
I feel a little bad. She's now all alone, but I'm gonna believe he's gonna come back for her.